Who are Meiteis and kukis? Before understanding this, one must know Manipur's conflict is not sudden. It is deeply social and historical. Manipur's geography is such it has two major regions. At borders there are hills and at center there is a valley. In valley region mostly Meitei communities are present, whereas in hill areas tribal communities like kukis stay. Meiteis are majority population, has more sources, funding, more development, politically and economically dominant, and not classified as ST. Kukis live at hill regions classified as ST have constitutional protection over land and culture. The problem begins when identity and rights overlap. The first area of debate is of ethnicity. Here, there are not two groups but three: Meiteis, Kukis, and Nagas. Meiteis and Nagas feel they are the true insiders of Manipur, whereas Kukis feel they are the real insiders because they fought Anglo Kuki wars. Second is territorial integrity. Nagas feel that this area must become the greater Nagalim. Kukis stay here and they have tribal affinities with groups across the borders like Zo and Chin, and they feel like a land must be made called Kuki Zalingam. And the third group, Meiteis feel territorial integrity must be maintained. Now, what is the trigger factor? In 2023, one court order changed everything. Manipur High Court, in an old decision, restored the fact that Meiteis will get a ST status. After the High Court's decision, Kukis are worried about their economic rights and resources. Even if you look at Manipur's legislative assembly, most seats are coming from Valley. The hill area has 19 seats, whereas Valley has 40 seats. And this made it obvious that any group that dominates the valley technically dominates the government also. On cookies, Meiteis and Nagas put a thing that because they have affinity with Zo and Chin, they allow for illegal migration, and as they are staying in the forest, they cultivate drugs like opium, etc. And all this led to breakdown of social capital and trust among different groups of Manipur. And when trust collapses, even small incidents become deadly. This created fear among Kuki communities because ST status gives job reservations, it gives land protection in hill areas, it protects tribal identity. This fear led to mass protest and led to a great violence in Manipur. Manipur is a small state, but land here is a big issue. Only 10% of Manipur's land is valley, but 90% is hilly and tribal owned. Mighty say we are overcrowded in the valley, whereas Kukis say our hills are constitutionally protected. Adding to this, there are eviction drives, illegal migration fears, weak governance, armed groups, drug wars, and demand for autonomy in Manipur. To fix all these issues in Manipur, one must have meaningful dialogues with all the groups engaged, address violence by security forces, new system of political representation must be considered, land ownership issue must be sorted, political will is required, uniform governance is needed, idea of brotherhood needs to be reinforced, and mainly NCRWC also recommended the sixth schedule in the Manipur. Why did the recent killing matter? Because it happened in the so called calm phase and crossed ethnic boundaries. And all this led to a fresh cycle of violence again.